Love listening to the Blue Monday podcast? Well, your support is very much appreciated, and for as long as we're producing this podcast, we'll never charge you to listen to us. But if you do want to join others in supporting us financially, you can do just that via the Acast supporters feature. It's up to you how much or how little you want to give, and there is no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description. The money you donate may or may not be put towards Joe Fair's football shirt collection. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. Now in our 5th season, something about exciting happening, something about 3 times a week, but that doesn't matter. We're kind of we've done the end of season pods now, so I'm kind of in chilled out entertainer mode. We brought Buckaroo in, we brought in Connect 4. We're just chilling out and talking about kits and stuff. And joining me again, the kit aficionado, the man with all of the cult figure kits, Joe Fairs, and the man who sticks them up on his wall in lovely Vivanti frames, is it, Craig? Craig Fimbo. Gents, how you doing?
Quick update, Vivati. Their frames are not available at the moment. They're sold out on eBay, Amazon. So maybe our plug for them the other week has driven demand up so high that can't keep up with it.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any appear through the post as some sort of kickback, to be fair. Maserati, Lamborghini, Ferrari.
Yeah. I like how those in the same ilk as the frame manufacturer for your football shirts, Craig.
That's what I thought I was buying for £21.99, yeah.
Well, that's what you get when you set trends, guys. You know, the demand, supply demand, we should have given them a heads up before we mentioned them in the pod. We got a few bits and pieces to chat about. I have no strong opinions about the away kit, which is why I'm going to let you guys give me your thoughts. But shall we start with the news that has been long awaited, and I think possibly a lot of the frustration and angst that came out yesterday as a consequence of this announcement was because it took them so bloody long to announce it, are the options on season ticket refunds for the remaining games for the 1920 season. So I'll take you through them very briefly. So, option 1 is to donate the money back to the club, but they will give you cash vouchers to spend in the stadium to the value of 50% of the donation that you make, i.e. the 5 or 6 games, whatever it is.
They will also tweet you with a blue heart if you tell them you've
They will
done this.
if you want to signal to the Twitterati.
Even if you have or haven't.
Yeah. Oh, what you said? No. Let's not accuse anyone of anything. B. A pro rata credit to the value of 6 league matches rather than 5, added to your online account for match tickets, memberships and events for next season. Fine. C is cash, in inverted commas, cash vouchers, not in quote marks like Tim Canterbury, for use at Planet Blue, stadium for foods and beverages. Good luck getting to the front of the queue and getting served. Tickets for match day, ticket office and match day hospitality. The club will add 25% on top of the refund value of the 5 missed games. So example, for a £100 refund you'll be issued with £125 in vouchers. D, a refund for the 5 games cancelled, payable either across your direct debit instalments for your 2021 season ticket or in lump sums up to May next year, which has definitely incited some conversation, certainly amongst some of our pod group. And E, a 50-50 donation where 50% of your donations refunded to the club. That's the donation point. For the academy or the community trust, you'll receive 50% back, payable in those same kind of instalments, but you also get 25% of the donation value in vouchers, which seems to be kind of a win-win-win option. Guys, I guess first thoughts, Joe, on how it's taken so long maybe and why that might have been, and your general sense of whether these are reasonable or not.
What are the options again?
Hey, give the money back.
I think they've got the options right as far as they can. It has taken too long, in my view, to come to a decision because it's been obvious for a while that things weren't going to be happening and there wasn't really a need for it to take this long. But I think they've got to the right place in the end. I know there's a few people unhappy about the refunds, not being able to get those straight away. But I think in the paper, I assumed it'd be the case, but I think in the paper they've mentioned today that if anybody has sort of genuine financial strife and need some money if they've lost their job or anything like that because of this, then if they write to the club, they're probably going to be able to get their money back a bit quicker, which I think does need to happen.
Has that been formally announced, Joe?
It hasn't been formally announced, but I think in the East Anglian today they put it
hinted.
It almost read like a club press release that is the case, but how that works I don't know. Also, I think there's a bit of an issue that the vouchers for the club shop can only be spent in person. I think they've said you can email in or post the vouchers across to the shop to buy things, but it does seem, I know there's two systems at place or whatever, but if you're going to offer vouchers, you do need to make sure they're flexible enough to actually be used.
Yeah,
but I think generally, I think they've covered off most boxes. They've given people options, and it's fair enough, really. I think.
Craig, the announcement that some of the players' pay had been dealt with on furlough and came out at the same time. Matt Holland kind of put his head above the parapet as well and got maybe shot down by a few as well. There was an emotional video here. What is it? Is it right that we're being kind of pushed to donate here? Are you feeling that sense of obligation to have to do it? Yeah, emotional blackmail, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Are you feeling that?
Yeah. I've seen enough slow-mo drone videos over the panorama of Portman Road for a couple of days. I think they're coming out daily at the moment. But there was an obvious timeline, wasn't there? Because the East Anglian report came out saying there's this £10 million black hole. The next day, Matt Holland, as you say, appears from nowhere to put his weight fully behind Marcus Evans and everything he's doing for us. And then the day after that, the season ticket refund bump comes out. So I think there was a concerted media campaign, shall we say, that just to drip it in and then hit you with it. The vouchers thing, as Joe's sort of saying about them not having to be used in person. Also, you don't get any change, do you, from using the vouchers? No. So quite how that, what the denomination is going to be. It's going to be like the start of a game of Monopoly where you're getting, a 50, a 20. You could be going down in all sorts of denominations because otherwise you're not going to get your full money back unless you want to spend.
Well, it leads you to overspend, doesn't it?
Yeah, £80 on pies in the concourse at half time against Milton Keynes. I can't imagine they'll let you use them on alcohol either. I know you can use it on food and drink, but I'd be wary about whether you suddenly turn up and start splashing it all on alcohol during the, on a match day as well. But
guys, any thoughts on? Joe's mentioned it. The full refund is scheduled over quite a few months, isn't it? And that's probably the most contentious bit of the announcement. I guess there's a balance to be struck here, and we always try to present both sides of the story here. You've mentioned the 10 million worst case scenario black hole, haven't you, Craig? So in that context, you can kind of understand why the club wouldn't want X £100,000 to go out of the door straight away. But it's a difficult one, because a lot of people, as Joe was saying, are also struggling right now as well, and that money could be needed right away. So 100%. It's a difficult one, isn't it? But do you think the club have got it right? I guess they're damned if they do, damned if they don't always, aren't they, in these things?
Well, as Joe says, I would imagine that there will be an option. If you were to email the club and say, look, guys, I'm struggling here, I need that £80, whatever it happens to be now, then there won't be an issue. What they didn't want is for 10,000 people to ask their £80 back. However, there will be people, and there are people that are saying, well, you can't give me my £80 back because you've committed to paying Paul Lambert £10,000 a week for the next 5 years. Will he be,
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's always a tricky one when it comes to money, isn't it? And at this time as well, it's all a little bit crazy. But I think we're in general agreement that there's not much more the club could do. And it's not great that anyone going for the full refund has to wait. But possibly Joe has given us an angle that might not necessarily be the case in
There's
some
plenty
specific.
There's plenty of options, isn't there? Crikey,
Yeah.
you know, as Joe was joking about, you know, there are plenty of options to choose from. If you can't find something out of that, and you know, and if at the end of it all you can also email the club and get it back in one lump sum, then you know there isn't too much to argue about. I don't think, if that's the case.
Yeah, my anecdotal evidence of speaking to people maybe who aren't on the social media bubble that can sometimes show things to be it's difficult because it's obviously a big chunk of town fans that are on there, but there's also a huge chunk that aren't. But I was at site yesterday and 2 or 3 of our guys got season tickets. They were like, oh, that's decent. I'll get myself a new shirt, or I'll get my boy a new shirt. That's generally what the views are. They'll take the vouchers and use it in the club shop. That seemed, I don't know. I think there's an element of people who've just almost written off the money because the season finished and they pay the direct debit. They almost forget that they're owed 70, 80 quid back, and just they'll see this as a bonus. They'll use it to buy sort of one or both of the new shirts, or get a few bits, or buy the new shirt with some of it and keep some money back to hopefully have a couple of beers in the ground later in the season.
Or you're not going to notice it, are you? You're not going to notice it. 78 quid over the course of the next 10 months, £7 a month taken off the cost of next season's season ticket. You're not going to notice it. Whereas, you know, if you get 70 quid vouchers, however it happens to be, as Joe says, a lot of people will be buying kits, whether it be for them or sons, daughters, whoever. Well, you're going to be paying for it anyway. Then I must pay for that. That's what I'll be doing, I think.
Yep, and I think a lot of people, and I think I include myself in this, were waiting to be satisfied that the club were going to do a refund, a 100% refund, and just to offer that, because if they try to worm out of that, then suddenly maybe I'm not as minded to be generous and for my money to go back in. But given they've done that, and some clubs, I shared a link with the Blue Monday WhatsApp about Scunthorpe, who set their stall out really early saying we are not in a position to refund any of the 1920 season ticket money. So at least we've done that. I know it's not going to be perfect and not everyone's going to be happy, but I think there's enough options, as we've said, to
it's just interesting to see what happens if fans can't get inside the ground next season. How long does that go? Because the issue last year is that people basically had made their last 2 or 3 payments, where now we're in a position where they're making a payment in May, June, July, August, September. They've gone and have made 5 direct debit payments before the season's even likely to start at its earliest point, September the 12th, I think they're saying, that people are going to have paid half their season ticket before the season starts, and the season may not start. And if you can't get to a game until January, you're then talking October, November. That's 2/3 of your season ticket you're going to have paid before you've even got into it. So I think that's where the issues are going to start. But hopefully having a 30,000 seater stadium and having 9,000 people that have committed to a season ticket for next year, that there will be a way that the 9,000 are able to get into Portman Road to watch it in a socially distanced manner, or at least a big chunk of those with their expertly modelled masks on by Rich there. But hopefully, like I say, I spoke to the club the other day just generally about my ticket, and they were saying that they're hoping that they'll be able to open parts of the ground up, especially with the pubs now open, that realistically that opens the hospitality areas up, because if pubs can open, why can't the hospitality areas? And if the hospitality areas can open, why can't the rest of it? And it just sort of goes from there.
Yeah. So it definitely feels like the club are going to need to find the way to get a big, rather than squad numbers on the back of shirts, maybe the letters of the options that people nominated and the word super fan written on the top of it. So do please publicise on Twitter what option you decide to go with. We're all desperate to know. That was a bit harsh and sarcastic, wasn't it? Let's move on.
A little bit, mate.
Sorry, I don't know. It's
all about opinions, Rich. It's all about opinions.
All about opinions, mate. Definitely. Sad news yesterday, Gregg. Philip Hope Cobbold passed away, and I'm not sure he'd been had any kind of formal role with the club for a while, maybe in some honorary capacity, but this feels like quite a loss in terms of the connection to the Cobbolds of the past that have helped establish the club under Robson, and clearly it's sad when anyone involved in the club passes away, but this feels like maybe a bit of an end of an era. Yeah,
I think so. I think it's the last, as you say, link to the Cobbolds, isn't it? That was in and around the club in a informal capacity. I've got shares, from when the club really was in trouble.
You're a super fan.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but now you've mentioned it.
Okay.
So one of those perks is to, I can call it perk, is to go to the shareholders AGM November, December time and talk about toilet roll in the cubicles and shiny backs to programs which don't allow people to mark the players off and things. And
teas and coffees at the training ground. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, things like that, high agenda items. And he's often at that, and he's more than welcome to chat to people. He's just a good old school, old fashioned country gent. Wore his tweed, rosy cheeks. You knew what you were getting. It's a sad day.
Yeah, it says here that he accepted an invitation from Chairman John Kerr to join the club board in January '95, following the death of his uncle Patrick Cobbold, from whom he inherited Gledman Hall.
Yeah.
And it sounds like pre-season barbecues were a regular feature there.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So sad news, and clearly a part of our past as well that sadly is also gone. Let's bring things back up to date. I'm aware that, as always, Joe has picked the right shirt for the moment. This is the best Adidas away kit in the modern era that I think we've had, this white one. I've got the current one. But guys, we are moving from Barcelona claret and blue to Parley Ocean Plastic Prime Blue technology. Is that getting you excited? Do you even know what it is?
Is it a Formula One tyre?
It sounds like some kind of Amazon thing to me. It's made from recycled waste that's intercepted from beaches and coastal communities before it reaches the ocean. So the video is very much about ocean plastic, but this is people, presumably with bags, on the perimeter of the sea line, and if someone's about to lob a Coke bottle into the sea, they'll go, whoa, give that to me.
This is what Craig does when he sits in his beach hut next to the Mayor of Brightlingsea.
The King of Brightlingsea.
Making sure that nobody is throwing plastic into the sea and sending it to Adidas.
When the outer townies come in and start leaving their shoes in and around the promenade, not only am I having to collect those up, I'm having to collect all the used condoms from the beach and pass them sealed in a sealed envelope to Adidas so they can make Luke Chambers' new replica top.
As long as it's going into Parley Ocean Plastic Prime Blue. Look at us being totally on brand here. So
all joking aside, though, I think it is good to
nice
be using sustainable materials for our most sustainable ever kit that we'll use for one season.
I was going to say, so this is the issue for me, right? If we were having this kit for 2 seasons, super good ethical message, which I can get on board with. But if it's going to be chucked away, I might chuck it into the ocean. No, I can't. I'm too far away. I'll send it back to where it came from. It does a little bit undermine the message, guys. Am I being a little bit cynical again?
Yeah, it's not sustainable is the word that's used, isn't it? Well, let's use it for more than one season, and let's make it properly sustainable and not have some, I don't know, are our lawyers watching, Taiwanese workshop kid somewhere slaving over creating another one next year.
What do we think of the design? I think it's clear, like this one, that it's another template. I think someone had even found the right picture for it before they made the announcement. But I quite like the the turquoise. I nearly said sky blue. I nearly walked into that trap. You're not going to catch me out on that one. The turquoise monochrome badge.
Turquoise? Oh, the monochrome badge. Yeah.
To be
honest, I like the kit. I think it's a nice looking shirt. I think it's divided opinion, which every kit on release does on social media. But
shock. Yeah.
I quite like it. I like the badge. I think that looks quite smart. I know we were taking the mick about the sustainability of the Parsley Ocean blueprint plastic, but I do think it's good that they're doing something. There's something unique to the kit with regards to it. I think it looks good. I think someone's just put a picture of it on Planet Blue's Twitter feed, and I think with the shorts and the socks, it does look smart. I say there's sometimes an issues with regards to the home kit clashing with the away kit a little bit, but I think it doesn't really. You've got a sort of a nice royal blue against a white. It's dark versus light. Yes, it will clash with Bristol Rovers probably, and we'll have to wear a third kit then. But that just gives us kit geeks something to get excited about.
It does, especially if it's a new third kit, Joe.
I
think it'll be nice. It'll be nice when they finish colouring it in, I think.
So are you not as strong? Is your vouchers not going on this one, Craig?
It's a bit wishy-washy for me. Yeah, I can see the benefits, but yeah, as I said when we did the first kit, I like plain kits. But yeah, it's a bit wishy-washy. I do like the goalkeeper kit though. The black goalkeeper kit's nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a neon-y kind of colour with a black. And I think that looks quite good.
The badge colour, the badge contrast to the goalkeeper kit, I thought looked nice. Or the numbers on the goalkeeper kit look nice.
That'd be nice, cut down into a short-sleeved shirt.
Yes. Well, there we go. I mean, maybe that should have been the away kit, but
we just need to sign a foreign keeper that likes to wear a short-sleeved shirt and sell them on the streets.
Exactly right. But yeah, we'd heard rumours, haven't we, that it was a kind of a whitey grey thing. Does this satisfy the requirement of something we've not worn before? That was the tagline we got last week. I think we're satisfied that this is relatively unique in our history, isn't it?
Yeah, it was something totally different is what they said, which I think there's something totally different is the sustainability of the kit, but it is also a colour that I know it's predominantly light and white, but they are like the grey, silvery colours aren't things we've had before. The sustainability isn't something we've had before, so I think it's something. Yeah, and different colour badge. We haven't had that actually this season's is a different colour badge, isn't it, on the away kit? But
yeah, it's white one on the away kit.
Yeah. But no, I think it is. I definitely think it's unique. Like I say, it's dividing opinion, but I like it.
All good things divide opinion initially, I think. To me, I've taken the plunge and I've pre-ordered the home shirt because I think that's one morally I feel like I should do an option A on my season ticket. That's not to claim that I'm going to, by the way. I feel like the home kit is one that you should buy because of the badge and the symbolism. Are you guys feeling compelled to buy this, or is this like a wait for the mid-season half-price sale kind of situation, or have you got vouchers burning a hole? I've asked you, Craig. Joe, are you pre-ordering this bad boy?
I'd usually wait for the mid-season sale, but I have a fear that because there's so many vouchers out there that the kit's going to be massive sellers because there's going to be a lot of people grabbing them that I may need to bite the bullet a little bit earlier and just get it ordered to ensure that my collection doesn't fall behind. But they're both shirts I would wear, so I'm not worried about getting them. I just would rather spend 25 quid on them than 50 quid.
I assume you guys have got households to buy kits for as well. So
yes,
is that 3 lots for you, Joe, and Craig? Is there, whilst you might not be a fan, is that one for you as well for your Fims Junior?
Yeah, we get him one for his birthday every year anyway. So the home kit he's had every home kit for the last 10, 12 years. So we'll get him that, and then it's up to him. I'd push him towards the goalkeeper kit, to be honest. He's a goalkeeper, and I really do like the away goalkeeper kit. So if he wants
that's
to buy
not actually for sale at the moment.
No, it's not there at the moment, is it?
I don't know whether that will be.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, let's start the appeal right now. Let's go for it. Let's make it happen. The kit aficionados, the kit Twitterati people are right here, so let's get it happening. Shall I give you some opinions from Twitter? These are better opinions because they are replies to our question on our feed, and all of our followers, their opinions are all excellent. So let me start with these.
It's all about opinions. So.
However, Brad Archer's gone straight in there. First line, disgusting. We'll barely ever wear it, as refs will say it will clash with any blue home kit we wear it against. It would be much nicer if the top of the shirt ran all the way through the shirt. The waves make it look like it's 2 shirts in one. So Brad's not going to be spending his vouchers on that.
Can you ask Brad not to sit on the fence?
No, this is what we want. We want binary opinions. No grey areas in the shirt.
Just to take on Brad's point, I don't see that refs are going to make us change the shirt because it isn't blue at all. When you compare it to our other kit, it doesn't clash in any way, does it?
When our Coventry have got promoted, that's not going to be an issue, is it?
But didn't Coventry wear their home kit against us?
I think they did. No, the home game they wore the two-tone one.
Oh yes,
because we talked about that for about half an hour in the pod.
Did we wear our away kit up there?
I'm pretty certain we did. Yeah, I think so. So, But that's not a problem anymore, is it? So,
No.
I'm trying to think who's going to be.
You've always got Bristol Rovers.
Gillingham's pretty much blue now, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Peterborough have gone very Ipswich, haven't they? A lot of their fans were complaining that their home kit looks too much like an Ipswich kit.
Right,
They've gone Puma, haven't they?
Have they? Have you seen Everton's Hummel stuff? Their training kit is better than their shirts, in my opinion. Can we put on record that we're all big fans of Hummel kits?
I like some of them, but some look a bit tacky. But I do like the classic V's on the arms. I'm
not gonna. These are in the order that they are on the thread. James Golk, Warwickshire alum. Pretty nice shirt, really. Great sentiment with the recycled plastic. Solid 8 out of 10. So, as you say, Joe, splitting opinion. Mullet, always good for an opinion on a kit. A marble effect for an ITFC Renaissance ? It is a bit marbly.
Have we got any Davids in the team?
Galileos? No. You're kind of. This is not the audience. I can't remember any of my Renaissance-y stuff from school. Let's keep moving.
I just remember the Turtles. They were Renaissance artists, weren't they?
Yeah. Leonardo. Yeah, nice.
Maybe we could sign Leo Messi.
Brilliant. This is the cutting edge opinions that
Raphael Mead.
Brilliant. I had his pro set card, Plymouth Argyle. There you go. Didn't he play for us?
He scored against us for Brighton, didn't he? In that the season that everyone forgets about, we got promoted. He scored for Brighton, didn't he? Steve Wayne got 2 that day.
Boom. There you go. Get that crowbar out. Will Airy, one of our patrons on the old Acast donation site. Thanks, Will. Will there be games where we can see the appearance of the third kit? Bristol Rovers, perhaps. Yeah, we talked about that. Do we think it will be this season's one, Joe? We're unlikely to get a special third one, are we?
That's what they've been doing in recent years, where they've carried the previous season's away kit over as a third kit. Apart from that one year where we had the orange with the black sleeve, which I can't remember what it was the year before that, but I don't know why we didn't just use the orange from 14-15, because that was 15-16, wasn't it? We did that. So a slightly different kit.
Jason's added in, is that off-white or an old kit colour palette? It's the sort of kit Alex Ferguson would make the players change in at half time because they're losing 4-0 away at Plymouth. The home kit says we play jazz football. The away says we play jazz badly. There you go, Jason. Steve Lewis, I think a lot of people were mooting this.
I think Jason's just a bit annoyed that the original badge, the current badge is back on that one, even with the red taken off it, it's still there.
Where's the yellow? Yeah, exactly right. A lot of people mooted yellow. A lot of people before the Copa red and black recreation, Craig, were mooting the red and black stripes to return. Is that something that Steve Lewis has asked for that on the back burner? Do you think that is ever going to happen? That would surely be a big seller if we did that.
Yeah, I do like that. The thick red and black stripes I like. But there were a lot of people saying that if there's something outlandish, a pink, a fluorescent pink shirt would sell well. I think as well, something just completely out of.
I know that they try and pick the away kit colours. They talk that they have it done quite early in the season. I wonder, because I know the copper red and black one was a big seller. I think it was probably the biggest seller of all the copper kits I'd read somewhere. That may be that the club shop have now, or I say the club shop, the retail team have sort of woken up to the fact that this is that would be popular, and maybe that will now be on the menu for future seasons, something like that.
How much longer have we got with Adidas? Do we know?
We knew that deal, didn't we?
We renewed it for another couple of years ago. So, but it does seem like we won't be going away from them.
No one mentioned this on Twitter, and I'm going to ask you guys now. Are you, Joe? You mentioned this is unique, but we've seen that this is a template kit, which for a League One team isn't a surprise. Would you be a bit peed off if another EFL team ended up with the same shirt with different colours, or is that likely to happen? And we need just
different colours. I'm not too worried about different colours. It's when they end up with exactly the same kit. It's the issue, which sometimes you end up like a French team, like Lyon or someone will have it. But
yeah, I think Fenerbahce had a version of this. I think in green and yellow, not green and yellow, bloody hell, orange and something. I think, but that is the risk as a League One club. As I say, we're not going to get the unique stuff like the Premier League guys are. Ginger Eagle 73 doesn't really qualify these statements, but says sigh, a missed opportunity on both topics, because we asked about the season tickets as well. FPL Tractor, I've not heard these, so you guys might need to help me out here. Do the rumours of players moving at least suggest there'll be some sort of transfer market this summer? I was wondering if outside the Prem it could be very static. This is in relation to presumably budgets and £10 million black holes in worst case scenarios. Have I missed any rumours of players potentially departing aside from on frees?
Yeah, there's a story in the Bristol papers about us being linked with Johnson, Clark, Harris.
Yeah,
that we're looking at him, but it
Charlie
also
White's
mentions
been dismissed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it also mentions in the paper that James Norwood may be moving on, but that's in the Bristol paper, which the East Anglian guys have said isn't something that they expect.
Okay.
But the Bristol papers actually says something about that we're doing background checks on, due diligence on his background, and spoken to former teammates and bits and pieces like that. So he obviously knows something is going on, but whether it amounts to anything, then who knows.
But to FBL Tractor's question, are we expecting fees or much business in the? Presumably nothing will happen until a starting date for the season is announced, surely. Or...
No, well, the Premier League have asked for to extend a window by 2 weeks. I read that earlier, so I think there will be a transfer market, but it just takes things to fall at the top, doesn't it? You need the big deals going on at the top of the market to sort of trickle downwards. I think the Championship is going to be totally killed by it, and it's going to be a lot of loan transfers from there, swap deals, free transfers. But League One is like that in reality most seasons anyway, isn't there? There's not much money spent in League One. Deals like Kane Vincent-Young for 500,000 are big deals at this level, unless you're Peterborough, who do a lot of player trading.
Craig, any thoughts on that?
Well, I was just trying to think, where do we need to strengthen, and where, if we do lose people, where are they going to be lost from, and have we got enough cover if we do? So, for example, if Downs gets sold, we'd probably ride that one out anyway, wouldn't we? We've got enough cover there. Yeah, exactly that. And if as per this Bristol story, if Norwood goes, I would imagine we're already after a lump up front anyway. So we may or may not. I suppose we've got Sears around. We've got Simpson.
Morris, Falami.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Falami potentially as well. So I don't know if we'd see that many incomings even if we do lose players out, because the squad's so big anyway.
It's just whether, if there are some sort of can't miss players that come available, someone like Johnson, Clark, Harris, if Bristol Rovers are really hit by the financial situation and you can pick up sort of top League One players for next to nothing because they just can't afford to keep their wages on their books, then that's when you may sort of some more trading may go on, because it does seem like because of Evans and the fact he is obviously one of the richest owners at this level, we're not affected in a way that we still have somebody writing the check at the end of it. He might be writing more checks than he wants to at the moment, but ultimately he does have the money to invest if he needs to, not to a ridiculous £5 million transfers and doubling, tripling the wage bill, but he's got the money. If there's a player available that you can get for a free transfer on £5,000 a week, he can fund that, where most clubs at this level can't.
Yeah, and the salary cap that might have been a little bit of a risk for us, I think that's been kicked a little bit down the road. And all of you people who are taking option A on your season ticket refund options, apparently Lionel's quite keen to stress that all of those help our ability to strengthen in the summer.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't happy with that, to be honest. Don't ask for a refund or we can't strengthen the squad.
Yeah, those tugging on those heartstrings. Guys, that's all the questions and opinions on the kit. I just wanted to one little bit of opinion I'd quite like to get from both of you. League One playoff final will be contested between Wycombe and Oxford. Last week we kind of said that we'd quite like to see the back of Pompey. They lost the penalties to Oxford. Who is the option that you would prefer to go up out of those two? It's a pretty underwhelming playoff final, isn't it, when you think about it?
I think I'd rather Oxford go up, because they looked a better side to me whenever I saw them. I know they lost a couple of players in January, but they seem to. Carl Robinson seems to be able to recruit quite well, and he manages to get good loan players in. And Wickham, it just seems like they're having a 1 in a million season. If they don't go up, they're just going to fall back down. And Gareth Ainsworth is probably going to get a bigger opportunity at some point. He's had bigger opportunities and turned them down, because I think to try and finish this job. But I think it's going to be very difficult for them to go again. So I'd much rather see Oxford get up there.
Craig?
Yeah, saying that, Wickham will do it, won't they? Because they shithoused into the playoffs, so they'll no doubt go up.
What was your take on Fleetwood's kind of collapse? That surprised me, but maybe there were 2 sendings off. Albeit I think one of them was, the second one was a guy was perceived to have dived for the penalty that wasn't awarded, and then was sent off for a second booking for dissent for that decision. That was pretty harsh, wasn't it? But yeah, was it just a bit of a stretch too far for Fleetwood, or was it the game got the better of them?
It was just one of those games, really, wasn't it? I thought that there was a lot of action going on, and that first red card just killed them in that. It was a stupid tackle. He's just gone for the ball, gone in over the top of it, and managed to get a red card out and give away a penalty, which was subsequently missed. But Fleetwood, I think they still felt they had Wickham's number, because they were still really pushing on at sort of 2-1. At 3-1, they were still trying to score to get back in the game, which maybe in the end was a mistake. But I was quite impressed with how they sort of kept going, but it was just too big an ask.
Be interesting to see if Barton is still there next season, won't it? He's highly thought of, I think.
Feels like there might be a little bit of jiggery pokery there, because Mickey Mellon left Tranmere to go to Dundee, was it?
And United, I think. Yeah.
McGreal might leave Coley to go to Tranmere.
Back
You
to
kind of
Tranmere.
feel like every now and then there's a bit of jiggery pokery like that. Wigan are in
Is
trouble.
McGreal actually linked to go back there?
He's been
Yeah,
linked.
Is it just because he's a player?
It was in the
Possibly.
culture to the Gazette. I haven't read the story, but it was in the culture to the Gazette today.
It's just he's lived down here since he signed for us, hasn't he? So
Who's coming in for Lambert? That's the thing.
anyone.
Anyway.
You reckon?
Borussia Dortmund, Lucien Favre's just got a new contract though, so no such luck.
But Craig, you're waving goodbye to Wickham. You think they're going up?
Yeah. If Joe's going
Shithouse,
for Oxford, I'll go for Wickham. Yeah, they'll shit house it.
We shall see. Guys, that's it. That's all I've got. Let's do some plugs. I mentioned it right at the top. The end of season pods are now complete. The trilogy, the greatest trilogy since
Lord of the Rings,
The Matrix, The Godfather. So yeah, all of the team have had to unfortunately miss out on part 2 with Craig and Mikey, but he's always on Twitter and giving his opinions anyway, so you know all about Stat at Chompex3. But yeah, all 3 parts there, looking into the we called it the roller coaster in part 3, which featured Graham Blackburn from the Naked Footy Show, so he makes a little cameo in part 3 with me and Seb. But that's all available, all the links on our Twitter, at Blue Monday ITFC, on the YouTube, on the Instagram, everything is there. Guys, do you want to give me your Twitter handles and anything else that you might want to be plugging for the summer?
Yeah, I've Fims75. Ben and Dave are doing a pod, aren't they, this weekend? They'd like us to mention.
Craig's going to that's you, isn't it? Dave is going to do a bit of a thing on Philip Hope Cobbold, I think, over the weekend, a little bit of a an on this day type history kind of thing, I think, that he's done before about the beat and players from that era. So I think he's maybe going to do a little bit on that. I think that'll be him and Ben, and that should be out Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Thank you for the reminder on that one. Joe?
At Joe Fairs, if you follow my YouTube channel, I'll be doing live unboxing of Corinthian figures for the rest of summer.
Have you got a YouTube channel, Joe?
No.
Oh man, I'm gutted. I want a YouTube channel for you for your Corinthians and your Perspex stand thing where you've got them all neatly located on top of. And I want Craig to have a YouTube channel for his shirt framing how-to guides.
Test match watch along.
And then we all need one. We need a Blue Monday Popmaster spin-off account, don't we?
God, yeah. Think of the views.
Be off the chain.
There's literally dozens of people waiting for this.
If you don't know what Popmaster is,
who are too old to know what YouTube is.
If you don't know what Popmaster is, you probably know what YouTube is. But yeah, anyway, and vice versa, the other way around. Flip reverse it. So you can find me at Ipswich. tweet Craig with your Popmaster scores on a daily basis. I'm pretty certain he's interested in that. What did you do today? We're recording on a Thursday.
Yeah, went too bad actually. High 20s and low 30s, I think, in each round. So did all right. Yeah. David, I say if it's David's a very similar score. I think if you get your right era, you're laughing.
Yep. Joe, you not done it yet?
I had a 9 in the first round, but then a 30 in the second round. I just missed one of the bonuses, and I had a 1 year out, so I was pretty pleased with that one.
It's got to be 80s onwards, or are you pretty good at some of the old stuff as well?
Mid-range. In fairness, the first question was, in which city did the Beatles form? So it was quite a soft start.
Good. Well, the nice gimmies are useful to make me feel better because my scores are generally crap. So we've got a Fantasy Premier League thing, which I'll post the results of that when the Premier League season is done. I'm pretty certain no one's giving a crap anymore about that. But maybe we need to have like a rolling tracker of our Popmaster scores, and we'll stick that on the YouTube and do a review at the end of the season or something like that. Guys, thank you for your time. We've plugged the Philip Hope Cobalt thing. Keep an eye on that for the weekend. But I think that might be it for 1920 stuff. And if there's some momentous announcement, a new manager, perhaps
squad numbers,
why not? We'll be back, and maybe if there's an announcement at the start of the season date, we might sort through that. But otherwise, I think that might be it. We might have a few weeks here and there of just doing some stuff. But thank you for listening. And again, the Acast donation page, check that out. That's linked to on our Twitter account as well. Who wants the last word? Craig, you can have the last word. The Popmaster himself.
No, sorry.
Joe?
1 year out.